Now, out of all of the devices that I have ever reviewed, this is probably up there in the top 10. Why is that? Well, this device is perfect for back to school, or if you're a student, lecturer, teacher, admin, really anybody who takes notes. If that's the case with you, well, take note of this. This is the Plaud Note. It's been a Kickstarter device for a while now, but look at how incredible the demand for something like this is. It only needed a $5,000 goal, but it's gotten over $1 million in support, and now it's available to the masses. I'm gonna go through everything regarding this device so you have all of the go-to content right here. And even if it's not for you, this will be the most unique gift idea for anyone on your list. I've also made sure to include the best prices on this device through Amazon and even Plaud's website, as well as any discount codes, so don't forget to check those out in the description down below. The Plaud Note is essentially a voice recorder, a transcriber, and a phone call recorder, all neatly packaged into this little unit, no smaller than a credit card and thinner than two of them squished together. The box itself looks very Apple-esque and has the same pull tabs as most Apple product packaging does. The first thing you get out of the box is the Plaud itself, and look how thin this is. Here is just a standard card for comparison. I'm already impressed. It's beautifully designed and crafted, and it's super lightweight as well. I'm almost scared of snapping this in half, but it seems rugged enough to withstand quite a bit of force. It's an aluminum alloy design, so I'm not really worried in that aspect. It's honestly this simple. Press and hold to start recording. You'll see a red light turn on. Press and hold to stop recording. Pretty basic. You got a switch here which toggles red when you need to record phone calls, and then switch it off to do anything else like general meeting notes or lectures. And one thing to note is that you don't have to have your phone on speaker in order to record phone calls. It's really mind-blowing. Further in the box, we have a MagSafe ring that you can attach to an Android phone or non-MagSafe compatible phone, and of course, a MagSafe compatible case, which you slide the unit into and snap it onto your MagSafe compatible phone. The design of this case is incredible and feels really nice in the hand. Not only that, the company really thought of usability with the case, as all the buttons and the charging port is exposed for easy access. Speaking of the charging port, we have a pogo pin charging cable which magnetically snaps onto the device like so. And there you go. You honestly don't have to charge this often, as it lasts quite a long time. They claim it can get you 30 hours of recording on one charge. I really don't know who talks that long, but you aren't going to be left without a charge if you have it juiced up right before a lecture. Yes, the one thing I do wish is that it wasn't a proprietary cable to charge it, but I guess that is the only way that we can keep this as thin as it is. So in essence, there is no more using your phone's recording app or an external recording device like those big clunky ones that you see on Amazon. Yeah, no more of that. It's going to use the two mics over here to pick up distinct voices, and these mics are amazing. If you're sitting in a lecture hall, it can easily pick up your professor's voice or even a speaker who's across the room, and you can hear every word. Not only that, when you get a phone call, you simply switch it over to the phone call mode, and you can take your call privately without having to put it on speaker. It'll pick up the voices on both ends. Now it does have 64 gigs of storage, which means all of your recordings are stored safely on the Plaud itself. But what really elevates this device is the app. The app is actually really easy to download from the App Store, and pairing it with your Plaud is so simple. It pairs using Bluetooth, but you don't need Bluetooth on it in order to record anything. Like I mentioned, it's stored on the Plaud itself, and it'll sync your recordings over when Bluetooth is enabled. Looking at the app itself, we have three simple areas to navigate at the bottom. The File section, the Record button, which activates the Plaud, or you can import sound files from your phone. The main area, or files, is where all your recordings will appear in real time. We also have a history of all of the recordings we took previously. This is a much needed feature, as although your recordings are stored on the Plaud itself, it will also sync anything to your phone if, God forbid, anything happens to your Plaud device. You can see that it organizes them based on call versus note, and you can easily filter them or categorize them using this side menu. The top left corner allows you to see all of the pertinent information on your device, such as battery level, the current recording mode, which updates in real time, by the way, as well as basic information on the Plaud. You can also change the idle shutdown timer so it doesn't run out of battery. The Plaud has an incredible 60-day standby time, but they say even if you shut it down completely, you can quickly start a recording by long pressing the button. You can also adjust the microphone gain here, but I think the default setting is perfect. Now, Plaud did something amazing here. They preloaded the very first Apple iPhone Keynote event that was delivered by Steve Jobs. What better way to showcase the power of AI and their product by taking us back to 2007 when the first iPhone was introduced. So right over here is the Keynote. When clicking on it in the app, you can see that it brings you to a summary of everything in the Keynote itself. And this is all AI. I didn't type this out myself. It was all created from the voice recording. So you can scrub through the recording just like this.
This to a mobile device. But what we're going to do is get rid of all call. Look.
And it's really fast. So on the transcript section, you can see that everything here is transcribed by the software itself. And when I go to the recording, if I scrub through it at any point in time, it'll bring me to that specific area in the transcript and it'll allow me to follow along. Watch this.
Starbucks. Now, I can get a list of Starbucks here, so I can pick that one if I want. And I can even go look at that Starbucks. And there it is, and let's give them a call.
Isn't that incredible? Now, the other part here is a mind map, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth on this later, but essentially it'll take the recording and it'll create a mind map of everything in the Keynote and break it down for you in an easy to read format. In order to showcase these features a little bit further, I decided to simulate my own type of lecture. I pulled up a TED Talk lecture on YouTube on the science of consumer decisions by a brilliant neuroscientist, Terry Wu. And I specifically chose this lecture as English is not Terry's native language, so I wanted to test it with people who might have a heavier accent. Just so you know, you can also transcribe recordings from a plethora of common languages. Now, I placed my Plaud towards the back of the room and played the lecture while it recorded. So we're going to go ahead and transcribe this first. And the transcription process has two parts. The first part is choosing the language, which we would say is English, and then you can enable speaker labels, which uses AI to distinctly separate speakers in your transcript. Now, for this specific lecture, because it's just one person, we're not going to use that here. The next part is choosing a template. You can have your summary organized based on the type of meeting or lecture you had. So we can choose from consulting meeting, a report meeting, a discussion meeting, or even have it categorized by lecture or call. All these templates come for free, by the way. So it automatically created a summary of what this lecture was about. You can see that it's showing you the influence of background music and the story behind New Coke. This is what Terry was talking about in the lecture, and it gives you some key takeaways over here, some highlights that you can check, and then chapters and topics, which is absolutely incredible. So none of this was typed out by me. It was just automatically generated by the AI itself by listening to the recording. As you can see, we have the transcript here. If you jump to a specific part of the lecture, we'll just go, say, right here, play.
The study showed that our buying decisions can be influenced by something so subtle that we don't even notice. The study also raises some important questions. How do we make buying decisions? Do we make decisions consciously based on facts, reason, and logic? Or do we make decisions unconsciously based on emotions, feelings, and intuition?
And you can see that it was pretty far away from the actual audio recording. You can hear how muffled it is, but the AI was able to pick up all of that and put it into this transcript. Finally, we have our mind map of the lecture itself. It gives us the title and then the main areas like the highlights, the key takeaways, the chapters, the topics. Everything here in an easy to read format, so you can quickly study this. You can take these study notes and you can quickly glance over them. Say if you wanted to cram before a test, this is the perfect way to do that. Some other great features of the app itself is that you can skip 15 seconds behind, or you can move forward 15 seconds. You can also change the playback speed and also the AI speech enhancement. So you can hear exactly how the original audio was when I recorded it from the back of my room.
Also French ones, by 3-to-1. And on the days when they play French music,
so you can hear the noise in the background, you can hear the echo and how far it is. Now watch when I use the speech enhancement option.
You probably could guess. Over 90% of shoppers say no. This study showed that our buying decisions can be influenced by something so subtle that we don't even notice. The study also raises some important questions. How do we make buying decisions? Do we make decisions consciously based on facts, reason, and logic?
So this AI speech enhancement removes all of the noise in the background and it cleans up the audio to the point where you can hear it very clearly. You can change a lot of the settings after the fact when the recording was done. You can retranscribe it to the point where you can change it into a lecture or say, for example, a meeting or a class. You can do all of that through here. You can also re-summarize the template based on what you want. So if you're paying upfront for this unit, why is there a subscription to even use it to its full capabilities? Well, let's get one thing clear. You don't have to pay an extra cent. It's completely optional to use a subscription, and you'll have most of the features and capabilities that I showed you today. Like, here's the thing. In order to remain sustainable and competitive in the ever-evolving AI landscape, companies need to use the subscription model to bring in a steady stream of revenue. That is completely fair. What I love about this company is that they don't really handcuff you in order to use some of the basic features of the Plaud. Their starter or free plan gives you 300 minutes a month of transcription, which is more than enough for a lot of people. Everything else is really accessible except for speaker labels and customized templates, but if you decide to just make a one-time purchase on this device, you will not be disappointed. The subscription will only make it more powerful beyond what it can do out of the box, which is already quite a lot. And I love that because your Plaud will only improve over time as new features come out. So what do you think of the Plaud, and do you think it could be useful to you? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you have any questions about the device, let me know as well. I'll try to help you out. Again, I got the best prices on Amazon and Plaud's website, as well as any discount codes, which will be continuously updated, so don't forget to check out the description down below. And that's all I got for you on the Plaud today. My name is J.I. Thank you for watching, and thank you for kicking it with me.